The single largest cost to small businesses in the Antelope Valley is wages and benefits. With the upcoming minimum wage being increased in the state of California to $15, what would you do to help lessen the burden on all of our small businesses to help them prevent them from cutting hours, laying off workers and closing their doors? And would you also support raising the federal minimum wage? Bryan, going to you.
Yeah, thank you. I do believe that we need to raise the minimum wage. At the federal level, we're talking about a $7.25 minimum wage. 40 years ago, it was the equivalent of $10.90. We've gone back 30%. There's a reason people feel like they're working longer hours for less money, and it's because they are. And we need to give fair day's pay for a fair day's work. Now, what we have is California already increasing the minimum wage. They have decided at the state level to increase the minimum wage to $15 per hour. That is happening in California. And so what we need our elected officials to do is make sure that when they are looking at a federal policy, they are doing everything possible to put California on the best playing field to support California jobs and California job makers. And so when you have an official who is in Washington who is voting to keep the minimum wage down in other states besides California, that representative is voting to give a competitive advantage to, not to constituents, but to business owners and corporations in other states. That's wrong. But for our local industry, we need to make sure that we are fully staffing and funding the SBDC, which we can do to train and support our small business owners to help them get through and navigate all the red tape, to make sure that they are able to open or expand in the best way possible. We need to have easier access to capital. That means crowdsourcing, that means better SBA loans, it means incentivizing loans under $50,000 to help our business owners weather a few transitions or storms. And we need to improve our infrastructure, high-speed broadband, etc., to make sure this is a great place to open up and operate a business and continue providing a great place to work for the people in our community.
Congressman?
Yeah, I think $15 is too high. I do. I talked to the assemblyman who wrote the increase of the minimum wage here in California, and he increased it to $9 and then he increased it to $10. So I sat down with him and I said, why'd you pick $9 and why'd you pick $10? And he said, well, it's a natural progression that we pick the next dollar and then we pick the next dollar. I said, so how many businesses did you sit down and how many times did you have roundtables to talk to businesses to see if they could take this or if they were going to lay off people? Well, we didn't do that. We just thought that the next dollar was the right thing to do. That's not the way you do this. That is not the way you engage. So what we've done is we've had roundtables. We've talked to business owners who are big business owners. We've talked to small business owners. We've had roundtables with women-owned business owners to talk to them about access to capital. If you cannot get capital, you probably can't expand your business, which means you cannot increase more opportunities, which means you cannot create more jobs. So that is one of the goals that we have set down and said that access to capital, to minority-owned, to women-owned, to disadvantage-owned businesses is less. And so we have to make a level playing field. So that's one of the things that we've talked about. But the second thing, let's look at regulations. If we're going to go to $15 an hour, never talk about regulations. The business community is just going to say, you keep putting regulations on us, and now you're telling us that we have to pay something that is a third or in some cases twice as much as we had to pay. How do you expect us to keep our doors open? Now, if you look at San Francisco, if you look at Seattle, we wouldn't expect them to keep their doors open. You can all read the articles that have come out of those two cities with $15 an hour. 700 people lost jobs in the restaurant industry in the first year in Seattle because of the $15 an hour. So we need to raise the minimum wage, there's no doubt about it. My first job was $3.35. It needs to raise, but it has to be commensurate to what business can do, and we can still create jobs.
Thank you.